Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are live with LaDonna Ray. What you say? What a heck of a weekend. I think I I started on my family tree back in 2016. And it took me this long it takes a long time. You got to be dedicated. So it wasn't like I was drawing little bubbles like, back in the day, but I actually went on ancestry.com. But before I get really deep into that, the weather is beautiful in Chicago. I can't complain. It was kind of chilly yesterday, but we needed a little bit of chill. And if you go to my TikTok, you'll see that one of my neighbors, unwanted neighbors, that was scuffling around in my or scurrying around in my um, garage has fallen to his death. Yes, that's right. Billy the broken squirrel. I can't say enough about how I love animals, but squirrels are not on the list of I got to put a leash on them, okay? This particular squirrel, I guess he fell off the roof or out of a tree and his hind legs were broken. Let me see. Can I share that with you? I don't know how to do that yet. But his back hind legs were broken and he just kinda crawled. He was pulling himself with his 2 front paws. Wait, claws, I think, anyway. And but he looked so sad because his eyes were so big and he was blinking his eyes and I was starting to feel sorry for him. So I gave him some nuts and we were cheering for him. You'll see it all on TikTok. I did call animal control. They sent me the voicemail twice. So hopefully they will come out and retrieve him. But before, if they don't, actually, we're planning Billy the Broken Squirrel's funeral services. We already have our shovels out and we're ready to put him away properly just because we had a moment with him where we talked. He confessed that he was the one that was tearing up the garage and then he unfortunately passed away. So, so much for Billy the squirrel. Um, But on another note, the I don't know, the world is not coming to an end, but it is definitely a lot of things need to end. Just recently, police officers tracked down a truck full of white supremacist members that were planning to storm the Pride parade, and when they got a hold of them, I believe it was 31 arrests or gentlemen that they arrested. They were all wearing the same clothes so they can easily be identified by each other. And their plan was to, who knows what, they may have had guns. I didn't get that far. I had to turn it off. But while these racist groups or hate groups are posting up and getting stronger, I'd like to ask you a question. What are we doing to prepare for for something like this? Because that was the Pride parade, but we have the Bud Billiken parade here in Chicago, which is African American parade that celebrates going back to school. I feel like it celebrates making it through the summer, just based on how the news has been hitting us hard with, so many shootings, not just in Chicago but everywhere. Um, but it just how are we preparing to protect our children, mentally, and so on and so forth about hate groups that really they spend so much time hating you that they love to hate you regardless of who you are, just based on the color of your skin or your religious beliefs or even now your sexual orientation. What are we doing to prepare? Because there's all kinds of preparation that we can do, but one thing that I know we need to stop doing is killing our own soldiers. There's so much killing going on. It's like, let's do a drive-by. Pookie might be in that crowd. If we blast them all, we'll at least get him. But everybody else around him has died or has been compromised. And when that happens, we are killing our soldiers. We are killing our army that can pull us together. One of my favorite movies was Breaking One and Two. I was only in third grade when that came out. And I'll never forget their opposing dance crew. All they did was dance each other to death. But their opposing dance crew was, they were always at it. And then they would have these dance battles. And at the end, when they were trying to save Miracle, it was called Miracle Community Center. They came together to raise the money for their community. I get chills when I say that just because I remember how I felt even in third grade. And although that was just a movie, I really see the benefit of us coming together. One thing that's not going to change, I'm going to be black until I die. But the community that we're lacking, the community that we're lacking is major, major, major. And the values that we don't seem to pass down to our next generation, we're passing down. And I'm not speaking for everyone. I haven't even gotten the sleep out of my eye. We're passing down ratchetness. We're passing down holding money up to your ear, going out there and getting it by any means necessary, just so you can showboat uh, what you've done with the money. I don't want to make this a downer for your morning, but I do want to encourage you to think about that. Think about how our soldiers, we need to preserve our soldiers, instill our values, and love our families, keep our families together. So many people are ready to just, kick daddy out or leave. I left twice, and I look back and I'm like, man, it takes maturity to make a family stay in place together while you're both instilling values into your children. And then they grow up and their narrative is, you know what, mom and dad weren't perfect, but at least they instill values in us. You don't hear that today. And the dynamic of our community where there are multiple fathers and multiple mothers doesn't mean that we have to be damned. I met a family about a year ago where they had they didn't share the same roof, but they were all siblings and they all grew up together. They all knew each other's mothers and grandparents and cousins, and they grew up together. And now they're adults and they're stronger than ever. I've never witnessed that. It's like we force our household to choose a side. Okay, we kicked him out. The new guy's here. There's a new baby by the new guy. So the old guy's out. We don't like him, right? We don't like him. Or same thing with mothers. Okay, your mother is different from this mother. So she's out. And we don't like her, right? And then everybody grows up not liking the person that's non-custodial or outside of the home. And what does that really get you? No, there's strength in numbers, stronger together, and this doesn't work. But we keep doing it. We keep doing it. Like I was saying, I started my family tree in 2016. It's 2022. My aunt, before she passed, sent me a handwritten letter, or notes, I should say, in a manila envelope with all of her notes on the family. And I swear it was so important to me. Watch this. I was able to fill in the blanks in my family tree. So if you want to start your family tree, you start with yourself. Okay. So you start with yourself and you branch out to your children if you have children, your siblings if you have siblings, your mother, your father. And next thing you know, you're branching out further. So if you start there, notice I said my mother, my father. Now I'm like, oh, wait, my mother's mother. Oh, wait, my mother's mother's mother. I don't know my mother's 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 mother, but I found out from those notes that my aunt sent me, my great aunt sent me. She passed away a couple of years ago. Doesn't feel like it a couple of years ago. But when but I was able to get from her before she died. Those ancestors that we have that are still living, they hold the key to your history. So don't rely on the history books and Google because it's not there. Okay. So in me doing my ancestry, I'm finding out, okay, I'm 40. I thought I was 46% Nigerian, but I'm 41% Nigerian. Either way, 41% Nigerian. I've got some Cameroon, Congo in me. I've got some 1% Irish somewhere in me. Some people celebrate that. They're like, "Oh, I told you I got Irishes." What that means is that my family comes from slavery. I know a lot of times we detach from that, but there's no doubt in my mind seeing that my great grandmother was born in Virginia. Okay. And I heard the story that her mother had hair that she could sit on. I can't sit on my hair unless I get extensions. Y'all got them extensions that you can sit on. I don't want to sit on my hair because I want to wipe my tail. But she had hair that her mother had hair that she could sit on. Or was it her no, it was her grandmother, sorry. Her grandmother had hair that she could sit on, but I don't know her name. Along with that, her parents were passing. My great grandmother's parents, real parents, were passing. Then out comes this chocolate baby. They had to send my great grandmother down the hill to live with her uncle and aunt just so they could keep passing. Some people say, oh, well, why would they sell out? Please stop saying that. They were surviving. If they could open doors and get into doors, then that's what they had to do at that time. My great grandmother had 8 children by one man, which was her husband. That is a beautiful thing, and sometimes we need to talk to our kids about what they want their narrative to be. Because like my family tree, my part alone, I got 3 daddies. Okay, I never talked about it. I always say their father as if they all have the same father, but that's not my narrative. I know some people that I went to high school with where that's the case. And I'm like, wow, if only I had that strength, that intellect. I may have been smart in the books, but if I had that intellect to keep that tree real tight, then you know what else would have been tight too. But it doesn't mean that your community is over because of these things. You just have to give an even attention to each child about their family. Okay? So I'm not gonna and I did this before. I messed up. I didn't talk about dad much because, well, dad messed up at some point in his life, and I'm sweating because I'm talking about this. But that's our history. That's our bloodline. That's our connection. You can't erase your bloodline. If you want to erase your bloodline, then you're gonna have to, um, well, you really can't do it. You can't erase your blood. Your bloodline is your bloodline is your bloodline. Okay, so if your bloodline goes to someone who was unscrupulous or someone who was successful, that's your bloodline. But your bloodline doesn't determine your foreground. You do. You may have some hereditary attributes, but what you do with them is what determines your path. So I'm not trying to be philosophical. It's just that doing my family tree, I found out so many things over these years. I thought I knew my family. I got 360 people in my tree. That's a lot of people. Um, but have you ever done research on a family member? This has happened to me twice now and found out that they passed away and you didn't know it. That happened to me last night at 11 o'clock. I was looking for my okay, so I told you my great grandmother married one man and had 8 children by him. When they divorced, my great grandmother remarried. And my great grandfather, who I knew because he was in the family by the time I was born, was the only great grandfather I knew. But he treated his children or his stepchildren like his children. That's all I knew. However, he had a brother. His brother's name was Paul Wilbur Stewart. And Paul Wilbur Stewart, if you look him up, he started the Black America West Museum in Denver, Colorado. I've never visited, but I interviewed my Uncle Paul. Paul Stewart, Uncle Paul. He and I used to talk all the time because he would come to Chicago and he would wear that cowboy hat and those boots. And I was so fascinated by seeing a black cowboy. We had a black cowboy in our family. He was married to my aunt Johnny Mae Stewart, maiden name Davis, ironically, because my maiden name is Davis. I don't know if we're related or not, but my uncle Paul passed away in 2015. I did the interview with him in 2012. He died about a week or two after I spoke to him on the phone. He was going through dialysis. And my grandmother said, "Wow, you talked to Paul?" I said, "Yeah, I try to talk to everybody if I can." And his wife Aunt Johnny Mae was communicating with me a lot through email. She was supporting my radio show, my little online blog talk radio show. And he passed in 2015 and she always called him honey. And I learned from that, like how to really truly honor your better half. And I reached out to her last year cuz it had been a while and she didn't respond and I didn't think anything of it. Something told me could have been her. I googled her cuz her name is not common. Well, it is kind of common. And I found her obituary. I was crying as if it just happened. She died 2 years ago, November 21st. Mm. That breaks my heart. Had I just called her one more time. But that's why your family tree and your connection is so important. Because just in 2019, my dad was raised by his aunts and his father. His mother had him and gave him to his father and his aunts. Okay. And she did the same thing with his sister, same dad. And so my dad grew up without a mom. Can you imagine growing up without a mom that's still alive? Well, it's one thing if she's not here, but another thing if she's like in another state, living her life, right? Well, I met her when I was 20 years old for about 20 minutes. My dad wasn't interested in meeting her because he was still hurting. But I sat with her and I was like, wow, that's grandma. And I was like, okay, but at 20, I'm trying to hit the streets. I was like, all right, nice meeting you. I don't even think we took pictures. And years later, it hit me. You know what? That's my grandmother. I want to bond with her. I want to have a connection with her. She's still alive. And in 2019, I said, I'm gonna get on the road and go to Memphis and visit my aunt. I mean my grandmother. And I was planning it. I really was. I was planning it. And then I looked on Facebook because, since that was my grandmother, I connected to some of her grandchildren because we're the same. Well, I guess I'm older than them. I forget. I really do. But I connected with them. And all I saw was I'm gonna miss my grandmother. Rest in peace, grandma. Again, it hit me like I'm too late. Oh my God. That I felt like my heart was ripped out of me because when I finally matured to where I wanted to be um a granddaughter or have a relationship with my grandmother, it was too late. So guess what I did? Guess what I did? I packed up all four of my children, even though they were grown, two of them were, and my nephew, and we got in the car and drove to Memphis and went to the funeral. I think I still have the voice recording of me standing, or they say, give your remarks, and I went up there. Nobody knew who I was. And I said, hi, everyone. My name is, and I felt like Wakanda forever. My legal name is Robinson. My maiden name is Davis. My stage name is Ray. And all three of us agree on it. So I remember saying all of that, except the part about all three of us, because I didn't want them to think, oh, this crazy person. I said, I am the daughter of, and I named my dad, Burnell Scruggs and Linda Prince. Burnell Scruggs' firstborn son to my grandmother. Everybody was like, you heard the gasp like it was a movie. And I had my boys stand up, all of them, because I took my nephew too. So I had everybody stand up. And everybody looked and as I'm looking around the room, I looked like everybody in the room. Like we have the same slanted eyes. Mine aren't slanted as they used to be because I had surgery on my head, so a little bit of my slant is gone. It's like right there. It should be like this, but it's not. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna look like Oprah in The Color Purple, but there's a little bit of a, you know. Anyway, you wouldn't have noticed it if I didn't tell you, right? That's what people keep telling me. But but anyway, everybody looked like me, and my cousin I was sitting next to was funny, just cracking jokes through the funeral, and afterwards we had the repast like down south, like the food was amazing, and I felt like where's the time gone? I had a aunt, I had quite a few aunts and uncles and cousins and cousins of cousins, and they treated me like I've been in the family all along. We kept in touch for a good little while, and then, um, it died out again. But, Imma just drive up there down there and get it back, I always feel like that little boy in Soul Food. Like, I could just show up and everything will be okay. It hasn't been the case though, but yeah, that's stemming from my family tree. I had a 6-hour conversation with my Aunt Tilly 2 days before she died. And she told me so many details about the family in 6 hours. She had already been talking to me, but she really gave it to me like as if she knew she was leaving. And I'll never forget that conversation. It was her, myself, my cousin, my son, my mother. We had this long conversation, and then she passed away 2 days later. Love your family. I don't care if you call them or visit them just for 5 minutes. Um I spent a majority of my motherhood life as a single parent. I was married for 13 years. Outside of that, I've been a parent for 30 years, going on 31. And it was hard, but not impossible. I think I could have done a way better job of connecting my kids to their father's side of the family. Way better. I didn't. I focused on me, 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 me. And now that side of their history, they have to play catch up because I didn't put them into it, you know what I mean? Um, I raised my boys the best way I could. There was like I said, it wasn't easy, but they've never been hungry. They've never gone without essentials. Um, just recently I heard a different narrative from my son. You work so hard to make sure your kids have everything you can provide for them. And then they grow up and tell a different story. Oh my god, that hurts, but it's almost comical. But my son said he grew up with holes in his pants. I called 5 people and they all said where, when. Not even his pajamas had holes in them. Um, I also made sure we had food. I was prideful with the food stamps. So when I was struggling, I would struggle. And then somebody would have to it's like I needed somebody to tell me, go get them food stamps. And I was like, no, I can do better. I can do better. Oh, but there were times when I didn't eat. Not my kids, me. Okay. That was early on when I was in my early 20s. But we had a new car sitting out there in an apartment. Um, Good morning, a day in the life of DJ Matt 121. Good morning. So no matter what your narrative is or was, you have no control over what it was, but you have a lot of control over what it is and what it's going to be. So I told my young babies, my son was he he said, "Yeah, mom, I'm up. I'm about to get ready for the day." And I looked at his pajama pants. They're real short, and I said, "Hey, take those off and throw them away. I don't want to hear it later when you're talking about I had pants that were flooding and I don't want to hear it. I'm gonna have you sign a contract, sign right here that You are not without, okay? Because I'm telling you, it just broke my heart hearing that. But it's always from their perspective, you know what I mean? Maybe there was a hole in the button that he had to I don't know. That one no. Okay? But anyway, I'm not even gonna challenge it at this moment. Um I will ask why he chose that or if he's writing working on some type of rap song. I don't know. But here's another thing I want to talk about. Why is it that words that include the word black are negative? As you know, my name is LaDonna Ray. I interview content creators from all over the world, but I also work in the industry of music, film, television, radio. Okay. I have a marketing company that does marketing trends, strategies, social media management, public relations, and printing. Yes, all of those things fall under the umbrella of marketing. So, marketing, you got to pay attention to words. Hold on, hold on. Excuse me. Excuse me. I am live. Maybe you need to go to summer school. Okay, sorry about that. No whispering either. Use the remote and hit the power button. Thank you. All right, so watch this. Words that include the word black just don't sound good. I have a list here. Blacklist, okay? Blacklist. Blacklist is if you're on a blacklist, that means that nobody wants to, you know what, with you. Where's my bleep button? I don't have a bleep button. Nobody wants to mess with you. Okay, that's what blacklist is. Whitelist means that you're allowed. Yeah. So denied, blacklist means denied. Whitelist means allowed. That needs to change. Yes, it does. It needs to change. Blackball, same thing. Okay. To be blackballed says that you're not F-wittable. Yep. You'll get that on the way home. So he's blackballed out of the industry. Nobody will work with him. He's blackballed. That doesn't sound good. Okay. Blackmail. Ukraine. Are they blackmailing? I'm sorry. Is Russia blackmailing Ukraine at this point? Because they're actually intentionally destroying their food supply. Are they blackmailing them to say, hey, if you want your food supply, you got to come with us? Okay. But blackmail, that's not good. Black body, I looked that up. I had to look that up. Black body. Black body means unable to absorb anything. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna skip that one. Blackhead. Nobody wants a blackhead. I know what you're thinking. Oh, but it is black on black people. But a blackhead on your face? Ew. It sounds like anything with black in front of it. A black heart, a black hole. It's so bad, negative, not positive. And then blackout and being the black sheep of the family, another one. Okay. The white sheep is the goody two shoe. The black sheep is the bad child or the bad family member. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Blackboard. That's not meant to be negative, but I just want to change it anyway. It should be called a chalkboard. Okay. We know it's black. Put some chalk on it. Okay. Black people, your black ass, all of these things, they sound terrible when you put it with black people, black culture. Now, I am presenting or proposing that we change some of these connotations of the word black because when people from other countries come to America, have you noticed that they already have a perception of us? Yes. They aspire to be white and they despise the black community because this is what's shown that we are trying to be something other than what we are. We're killing ourselves and each other. We're just not doing the right thing. We're savages. I'm not a savage, even though I love Megan Thee Stallion. By the way, she got her degree. I'm not a savage, but the rest of the world seems to think I am. There are savages in every community. But when you start with the vocabulary, that's where it starts. What's presented on the media, what we put in our own videos and in our own music. Why are we the only community of people that call our women bitches? Why? I just don't understand how I can listen to their music and they say this I met this girl, this beauty, and ours is I met this it's and we just bob to it, including myself. I grew up on hip hop. But it's not a term of endearment. In fact, I want to thank Queen in Chicago for correcting me many years ago, back in 2005. I referred to her as the B word just as a term of endearment because that's what I was kind of used to. And she said, honey, don't call me that. And you shouldn't let anybody call you that. And I mean, she broke it all the way down to me. I felt like a heel. I never did it again unless I really meant it. Yeah. Sometimes you have to have that mind shift. Good morning, Curtis Stackhouse. Peace be unto you as well. So these things that we do, it's hard to get started because then we'll be going against the grain. I get it. Everybody else is doing it. Yeah, everybody else is dying too. We're getting diagnosed with having, well, I should say, we have the access to proper health care. Did you hear that it is written in the medical books on certain procedures how to treat black people versus white people? I thought we were all human. Did you know that according to the medical books and the medical board, for many years, decades, centuries, generations, that black people are assumed to be able to take more pain than anyone else? I screamed last week from a paper cut. The pain that I'm enduring that no one else can endure is the pain that's being put upon me living in this country. That's right. But it is because I've built up a tolerance, a strength. Is it desired strength? No. I didn't ask to be independent, but I am. Do I struggle? Heck yeah. I'm a business owner and a part time teacher. Either I'm going to be full time one thing or full time the other. Being a part time teacher, I get to pour my main hustle as a side hustle into my students. It's addicting. Being able to tell them how to avoid these pitfalls and what marketing is and how you should brand yourself right now. Oh my God, it's almost selfish, right? But at the same time, I want you to understand that when you run a business, you have to run your business like a business. So when someone comes to you and questions your price, how do we get on that? Well, because I'm black. I have to prove myself even to my black people that I'm a real business. And I'm okay with that because I'm used to it. Does it get frustrating? Absolutely. But I get better on my objections. Objections. I don't think I said that right. Objections. Overcoming objections. Yes, I did. Objectives are in my mind because I told my son to write down some objectives to reach his goals. But you have to overcome those objections. Okay? Overcome them. Don't get upset when someone says, "Well, show me your portfolio." Oh God. And you're oh godding because you didn't put one together. Don't get upset when you give someone a lower price than what you really charge. Oh God. I only charged you $3. Normally I charge $21. Well, that's your fault. What do you think they're gonna go, oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. Gracious one, gracious one. No, they still want what they want. They still want what they want. They paid you for a service. I've messed up on that just recently. I took on a project, gave her a significant discount, and now I can't seem to finish it. You know why? Because I didn't charge enough. I didn't, and I've done this before. I didn't charge enough where I can build my team around it and get it done. And if I have to do it and take care of my dad and take care of my mom and take care of my kids and take care of my house and take care of my business and take care of my students, then where is there time or room? Even if I can get it done in 4 hours, it's like every 4 hours, there's something else that has to be done. All right. I'm going to end this live. If you see Billy the broken squirrel, unfortunately, he passed away. Like I said, rest in peace, Billy. This morning juice is dedicated to you. I gave him 5 nuts and he ate 2 of them. So I knew he wasn't well. If you have any suggestions on what you want to talk about, come on to the show. I try to do these on Mondays. It doesn't always happen. As you see, I wake up, there's not one stitch of makeup, nothing. Okay. My hair is so heavy, I'm not sleeping at night. It's like having another person in the bed with me. I'm constantly moving it around. But if I can get up and have a cup of tea with you guys and get my thoughts out and make a difference, hopefully, then I've done my morning Joe. I've done my morning Joe. All right. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok, subscribe to me on YouTube, and share the word. Share it. All right. No more blacklists, no more blackballing, no more black anything. We're going to change the vocabulary, people. I am writing a letter and submitting it. And I need you to join me in these petitions to get rid of these words containing the word black. If we are going to be called black people, then we need to get rid of the negativity in blackness. Absolutely. It starts at home and then you have to finish it in the books. If it's in the dictionary, then wow. Why does the rest of the world see us the way they do? Because we're the black sheep of the country. Kill it. All right. I'll talk to you later, guys. I'm LaDonna Ray. Check out the LaDonna Ray Show on YouTube. And coming back to 88.9 in Chicago. All right. Bye-bye for now. Peace. Even in my robe ski.